Hello, everyone, and welcome to BIRDCAST, the podcast where we dive deep into the world of birds. Today, we're focusing on a bird that basically defines the word specialist. It lives by water, eats fish, and is built from the feathers up to do exactly that. Today, we're talking about the osprey, Pandion haliaetus. These raptors are found near lakes, rivers, and coastlines all over the world. You can see them across North America, Europe, Asia, Africa, and Australia. Basically anywhere where there's fish and not Antarctica. They're not built for penguin country. If you've ever seen an osprey hunting, you know how perfectly evolved it is. Long, narrow wings, a sharp, dark eye stripe that gives it a kind of superhero mask look, and a hunting style that's just efficient. Ospreys don't just dive into the water like a crazy person. They hover, they calculate, they line up their dive just right, and then, boom, feet first, talons extended, splash, and they come out of the water carrying a fish. Usually head first because, of course, they've thought about aerodynamics. Most birds and most raptors have what's called an anisodactyl toe arrangement. That's 3 toes forward, 1 back. Think hawks, eagles, songbirds. It's the standard model. But ospreys have something different. A flexible outer toe that can rotate backward. That lets them use a zygodactyl grip, 2 toes forward, 2 back. And that's a big deal when your food is slippery and alive. On top of that, their toes have these little rough pads called spicules. They work like sandpaper, helping them hold fish even when it's thrashing. So imagine trying to grab a bar of soap out of the water. That's what most birds are up against. But ospreys, they're basically wearing nature's anti-slip gloves. And then, when they're flying back to the nest, they don't just hold the fish however it lands. They actually turn it so the fish faces forward. That reduces air drag and keeps the balance centered for flight. It's the kind of detail that makes engineers jealous. Alright, nests, monogamy, and family life. Ospreys are homebodies in the best way. They return to the same nest year after year, adding to it every season. Some nests can get over 1 meter wide and nearly as deep. And the pair that builds it, usually the same 2 birds. Ospreys are monogamous, and most pairs mate for life. It's not just a love story, it's a team effort. The male does most of the hunting, bringing fish to the female while she incubates eggs and tends the chicks. Both parents guard the nest fiercely, and they'll keep using it as long as it's sturdy and safe. These nests pop up in some funny places too, on trees, cliffs, power poles, and even cell towers. And in some areas, people have built artificial platforms to encourage nesting. Turns out the ospreys are all for it. Now here's something incredible. Ospreys are long-distance migrants. North American ospreys head to Central and South America for the winter. In Europe, they travel to Africa. One tracking study, published in PLOS, followed juvenile ospreys crossing the Atlantic, flying more than 1,500 kilometers over open ocean, in a straight line against wind with no visible landmarks. No GPS, no snacks, just instinct and internal compass that honestly puts ours to shame. Each spring, they come right back to the same nesting site. That kind of navigation and memory is mind-blowing. Scientists call it sight fidelity. I call it better than my sense of direction. Alright, taxonomy and evolution. In the bird family tree, Pandion haliaetus stands alone. Literally, it's the only species in its family. That means the osprey is monotypic, though there are some regional subspecies. Ospreys diverged early from other raptors, evolving to specialize its fishing. Their entire anatomy, wings, toes, nostrils, eyes, all tuned for life over water. That's why you'll find them almost everywhere there's fish, from Canadian lakes to Indian rivers to Australian coasts. They're one of the most widespread raptors on Earth. Anatomy and adaptation. Every piece of an osprey's body is designed for its job. Their wings are long and angled for efficient gliding and hovering. Their nostrils can close when they dive into water. Their eyes have special focusing power that helps them judge depth through the surface glare. When they dive, they don't hesitate. They hit the water, sometimes completely submerged, and then power their way back into the air. Fish in talons, water spraying off their feathers. It's like a stunt show, except it's their breakfast routine. Okay, diet and hunting. Almost 99% of an osprey's diet is fish. Studies have confirmed this again and again, including reports from the Chesapeake Bay Foundation showing fish make up basically their entire menu. They're opportunistic too. Trout, mullet, catfish, carp. If it swims near the surface and fits in the talons, it's dinner. The abundance of fish directly affects their breeding success. In areas where fish populations drop, osprey nesting rates fall too. It's a reminder of how tightly linked they are to water health. Alright, almost done. Nesting and raising young. Once a pair finds a good nesting site, they'll reuse it for years. The female incubates 2 to 4 eggs while the male hunts. The chicks grow quickly, fledging in about 8 to 10 weeks, and soon after, they begin learning to fish on their own. Young ospreys from North America will migrate south their very first year and sometimes won't return for 2 or 3 years. When they do, many end up nesting not far away from where they hatched. That's loyalty. DDT. Ospreys were nearly wiped out in the mid-1900s because of it. The pesticide that caused eggshell thinning. Populations crashed worldwide, but after the DDT ban, the recovery was dramatic. In New Jersey, for example, there were around 60 nesting pairs in 1974. By 2022, there were over 700. That's thanks to habitat protection, nest platforms, and cleaner water. Still, there are ongoing challenges. Research from the Chesapeake Bay area shows that pairs nesting in saltier waters produce fewer chicks, about 0.33 per pair compared to 1 in fresher water. It's another reminder of how sensitive these birds are to environmental changes. Since the 1990s, researchers have used satellite telemetry to study migration. Between 1995 and 2012, More than 244 North American ospreys and about 140 European ones were tagged. Websites like ospreytracks.com share their real-time journeys. It's addictive if you're into data and birds. By the way, that website is spelled ospreytrax.com, in case you want to check it out. Humans and ospreys. Ospreys have adapted surprisingly well to living near humans. They nest on power poles, channel markers, even stadium lights. They don't seem to mind us much, as long as we don't mess with their fishing spots. But that's where things get complicated. Overfishing, pollution, and habitat loss still threaten them. Clean water and healthy fish populations are everything to an osprey. Conservation isn't just about banning one chemical. It's about protecting the entire food chain. The osprey, Pandion haliaetus, it's not just a bird that eats fish. It's the perfect union of anatomy, instinct, and ecosystem. If you ever get the chance, find a nest near the water and spend a few minutes watching. When you see that hovering silhouette, then the dive, that's an osprey. And look for that fish, too. It's not just lunch. That's millions of years of evolution, still doing its thing. Hey guys, just to wrap it up, this is only my first episode, so I don't really know what I'm doing, but let me know if you like how it's going and if I should change anything, or maybe podcast episode suggestions, just anything you want to let me know. So see you in the next episode. Bye.